The show was Africa Daily on Africa Global Radio. I am Barry Musa, and we're about to jump into our next bit right here. Let's find out what these papers are saying from these African countries, Tanzania, Senegal, and Uganda. Stay with us.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
Yep.
Well, interesting things that we do have. I mean, I'm thinking, where do we start from?
Let's hear Bobby Wine's country.
Really?
Yeah, Uganda. I'm very interested in that one.
Don't you actually save the best for last?
Oh, it's a bombshell, isn't it? Okay, let's start with Tanzania.
Okay, so from Tanzania, I mean, not really the best of stories or the headlines. We're
Okay.
reading from the Citizen newspaper, and very disturbing headlines. So we have how Bank of Tanzania was conned out of 680 million shillings.
Ooh la la. Okay.
I mean, not the best. A whole bank of the country.
All right.
Well, it started on November 17th, 2017, when the Bank of Tanzania received a letter purportedly from the Ministry of Agriculture
Right.
instructing it to transfer $298,500, which is 680 million shillings, at current exchange rates to Rich Host Enterprises Group Limited's account that was held with the National Merchant Bank, China.
Oh.
The letter instructed the Bank of Tanzania to transfer the sum from the Agricultural Ministry's Expanding Rice Production Project account
Okay.
to Rich Host Enterprises Group Limited, maintained at the China Merchants Bank. Those who wanted the money took advantage of the fact that the Ministry of Agriculture had that time opened and operated the ERPP account. Now, the ERPP basically is the Expanding Rice Production Project. So it's aimed at increasing rice produced and marketed in targeted areas of Mogoro region and Zanzibar. Now, the letter indicated the purpose of the transfer was to facilitate purchase of the rice equipment in implementation of the ERPP.
Okay.
Believing the letter was genuine, after purportedly being signed by two signatories of the ministry, Mr. Nkuviliwa Sgmanga and Stratton Ndakidemi, BOT transferred the money to its account held by JP Morgan Chase Bank of New York, US, on December 7th, 2017.
Right. Okay.
Well, the New York Bank was to transfer the fund to Rich Host Enterprises Group Limited's account held with the National Merchants Bank Tower Branch, China. But what would later land in court emerged on 23rd January 2018 when the Agriculture Ministry disowned the transaction because it had been wrongly debited from its ERPP account and demanded reversal of the transaction. The Bank of Tanzania recently won reprieve after the Commercial Division of the High Court declared the transaction null and void and based on fraudulent instruction order. Now, the court has also ordered China Merchants Bank to transfer the money from Rich Host's account to Bank of Tanzania's account held with JP Morgan Chase Bank. With the court decision, Rich Host will also have to pay a 12% interest on the amount from December 7, 2017, when the money was transferred, to the date of reversal of the fund to BOT's account. We could go on reading the story. It's quite a long one.
Yeah.
But first off, I'm not happy because okay.
Yeah.
So when I read the headline, I was just like, what? I mean, Bank of Tanzania was conned out of this amount of money. Now that's a serious thing.
I don't know.
It sounds funny because in my head I want to believe that we're joking at this time for the bank of the whole
can we
country to be conned.
Yeah, how can we
like
let
that?
our gods so loose?
That's the thing.
But
I mean, a
You know,
letter.
they've
All
been-
it took was a letter and two signatories, and transaction was done. Now, although the court has ordered the China Merchants Bank to actually reverse the transaction, my question is, what if whoever is responsible for this has already withdrawn the money?
that's the thing.
How are
And
you going
how-
to get them?
But what are the checks and balances like
In
what-
place. I mean, to
what-
prevent such
who-
things
yeah,
from happening.
I mean, who who oversees to what?
That's the thing.
Like,
Couldn't they
what's
make
the chain of
calls and check?
command?
Because this is like a project fund,
Yeah,
and
you
you
know.
just take out of it, and you want to tell me that the key people involved in this whole project, only two people, you just needed two signatures
Yeah.
on a piece of paper to ask you to transfer
Well,
money.
there's
You
a
just
lot
did
of there's a
that.
lots of questions that actually demands answering. Let's see what the future gives birth to. I believe we will monitor this particular story and development and see how it turns out in the future. But it's not really looking good at all. I mean, a bank, a the country's national bank, and going through such I'd say turbulence. Not looking good at all. But then let's hope for the best.
Well, that's not the best of stories, and that's coming from the Citizen newspaper
Mm.
in Tanzania. Now, moving on to Senegal, we'll be reading from the Le Quotidien newspaper,
Right.
where the headline says COVID-19 state of emergency and curfew in Dakar and Thiès. Anton plays extensions, governors issue decrees. Sometimes some of these newspapers in some of these countries, their headlines can be so confusing.
Yeah, they are sometimes. It's kind of like you have two stories being blended together, but it's actually telling you about one particular event. But let's move forward.
Well, an expanded curfew was expected to be extended to other parts of Senegal, such as Diobel, Kaolack, or St. Louis, because of the outbreak of community cases of COVID-19. But this curfew on Dakar and Thiès is still maintained at 8 days. The announcement was made yesterday by the Minister of the Interior on the set of the 8 p.m. RTS newspaper. Although the amendment of the 1969 law on the state of the emergency has not yet been enacted, Antoine Diome has given instructions to the governors of Dakar and Thiès to extend the curfew from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. The 1969 law was amended, giving rise to a third regime, which aims to manage natural or health disasters. But unlike any law, it has a process before it comes into force. Now, once it is voted on, it is sent to the President of the Republic to take act of the enactment. This act is to be taken tomorrow, basically like today.
Okay.
Pending its entry into force, the governors of Dakar and Thiès have been instructed to make orders that produce the same effects made in this 8-day period. Minister of the Interior. Moreover, the governor of the Dakar region has already signed his decree that extends the curfew in the capital. According to the minister, these new measures were aimed at curbing the spread of the COVID-19, which has taken on a macabre appearance in recent times. The measures that have been taken since then have taken into context the protection of the population. But as everyone has seen in Senegal, the virus is still on its way. There is a need today to take action in the same wake of what has been put to a brake on this spread, which unfortunately has negative results for patients and deaths in recent days.
Okay.
And despite the frequency of community cases in Kaolack, Diobel, St. Louis, and even across the country, the government is not changing course. At this time, the advice given by the National Committee for Epidemic Management has been given on the basis of the finding of the contamination rate that affects the Dakar and Thiès region more severely. Of course, if the measures are to be evaluated in the direction of reaching other regions, no doubt such decisions will be taken. This was promised by the Minister of the Interior. He swears that the government's primary objective is not to repress, but to protect.
Right.
Well, let's see.
Let's
Everybody's fighting.
Right. Let's see how it turns
I
out.
mean, everybody is actually fighting
Mm-hmm.
everybody's fighting for the lives of their people due to the COVID-19.
Yeah.
Everybody just wants to make sure that the right thing is done. So, yeah, I believe things will work well.
It shall be well. All right.
Interestingly,
Fly me to Kampala.
really,
What's happening there?
there are a lot of things happening there, and a lot of things coming from the newspapers over
Okay.
there. As to right now, the internet was shut down.
Yes.
Yes, press and everything
Uh-huh.
had their own issues going on.
Uh-huh.
So, as to being able to bring out verifiable sources,
Yep.
one thing that I can verify that is actually raining on almost all the newspapers
Yep.
is the fact that Yoweri
Yeah.
Museveni
Of course, has been re-elected.
has been re-elected,
Mm,
and he's wearing the champion's crown now.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Though we do have Bobby Wine,
Mm-hmm.
and he's saying he's actually calling out to the international communities to help to let him, because he wants to actually take the issue to court.
To courts.
He wants to actually challenge the
The
election result. Exactly.
Mm.
And also, we had quite a number of MPs losing their seat. I think it's just like what happened
Similar.
here in Ghana. Yes,
Right.
MPs lost their
The
seats.
MPs, are
over
they from the incumbents party, or it's more of like
No, some,
a give
most
and a
most of
take
them are
thing?
from the incumbents.
All right.
Yes, most of them are
Right.
from the incumbents.
Mm,
Yes, and
okay?
one of the things too is you have some of the students are also to return. Students are to return back to school.
To
The
school?
finalists, yes,
Oh.
are to return back to school.
Right.
I mean, it's quite difficult because some of them are warning that it could be very
Dangerous.
problematic. Yes, but
COVID.
the reporting date initially was moved from January 11th to 18th, and it was to allow the students of voting age
Okay.
to go and vote.
Nice. Okay, that's all we have.
That's all we have.
Headlines across Africa.
And he's actually outlined his new term.
Who? Bobby
vision.
Wine?
No,
You mean President
Museveni. Yes,
Museveni?
he has
Okay.
actually outlined his new term,
Mm.
and he's the first thing on top. Just imagine
What?
cheating-free election.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Let's see
Yes.
how that's
That's one thing he's
now-
looking at. Yes.
okay, right.
That's one thing he's looking at.
interesting.
Yes.
Well-
And also he's going to help education, he believes, should be free. So the government in this coming term will be fully implement the universal education,
Okay.
free education, free vaccination, free access to medicine in hospitals, and universal monetization of the economy.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Politics of patriotism, a disciplined army.
Okay. Now these are things that I would say one would be, the message he would give out during campaign times. Free this, free that. Free this, free that, and all. But maybe it could be true. Let's see how it turns out.
This is his key issues that he's planning to
After
look for.
after
for exactly, for
being
2021.
re-elected and all.
So,
Okay.
I mean, he's told us what he's going to do. We just
Alright.
have to wait and see how he does it.
Anyway, congratulations to him, and all the
are you,
best.
are you still going to go to Uganda?
I will go. I mean, free everything, disciplined army. Why not? It's just to explore.
Free vaccination.
Exactly, free vaccination. We'll talk about that more. All right, thank you very much for updates on what's happening in Tanzania, Senegal, and of course Uganda.